Hi everybody, hope you had a lovely half-term break and are ready to get back to it. Today we're recapping a little bit more around tens and ones but related it to the pothole model and bar model. So if we think about number 13, we can represent that in different ways. We know the 3 is in the ones place and it stands for 3 ones, and the 1 is in the tens place and it's 1 10. So if we look at it on a tens and ones chart, we can see that we can have 1 10 and 3 ones, but we could also draw 1 10 or 3 ones, or you might have been using Lego at home or Duplo or other equipment in your house, and you may have seen in school some other children using tens and ones. So that helps you to represent that number. And today we're going to be splitting up those numbers, and that's called partitioning. So we're pulling that number apart, and we're going to be looking at that and our pothole model. So here's our pothole model. So we know that 13 has 1 10 and 3 ones. And when we see 13, some people think it's a 1 and a 3. Is that correct? No, it's not, is it? Bit of a clue on the screen, isn't it? 13 is made up of 10 and 3, and that's what we've got to remember. Because if I wrote 1 and 3, does that make 13? No, 1 and 3 makes 4, so we wouldn't get the answer right. So it's always remembering that 0 is hidden behind that 1's number, isn't it? Because that 1 actually represents 10. And although we can't see the 0, it's hidden behind that number 3. And by pulling that number apart, by partitioning it, we can see those two numbers as a 10 and a 3. And that's why we've been using the equipment and getting to understand the numbers before we then go on to our pothole model. Okay, so we can also represent it on a bar model, exactly the same as we've just been doing on our pothole model. I haven't written my parts on here though. Do you think you could write it down and have a go? My hole is 13. What would my parts be? Yeah, they would be 10 and 3. Well done. I hope nobody wrote 1 and 3. Because remember, 1 and 3 makes 4, doesn't it? Do you remember in that 1 represents that 10? Because that 0, although we can't see it, is hidden behind number 3. And although we're not going to look at this today, I just want to show you as well that that's how we can write our number sentences. So just the addition ones. So we know that 10 add 3 makes 13. Because if we wrote 1 and 3 equals 13, that wouldn't be right because we know 1 and 3 makes 4. So that's where we come back to always remembering that it's a 10. And we can represent it with our hole at the end and our hole at the beginning. And we will be looking at that some other day. So we know 1 10 and 3 ones is 13. So let's have a go at drawing the pothole model for these numbers. So we're going to look at 16 first. If you want to have a go before I put it on, then pause the video and do that. If not, I'm going to show you and then you're going to have a go at a couple. So 16, we know 16 is the whole, and if we pulled 16 apart, we know that it's not going to be 1 and 6, is it? It's going to be 10 and 6, remembering that this 1 represents 10 and we just can't see the 0, all right? So it's always remembering that, isn't it? Because otherwise, if we do 1 and 6, 1 and 6 makes 7 and we'll get the wrong answer. So remembering that this 1 is a 10, okay? Really important that we remember that from now on. Our teens numbers, the 1 represents a 10, and the 6 represents the ones, okay? So what I want you to do is have a go at drawing the pothole model for these numbers. So like I've just done, so remembering the 10 and the ones, okay? There are other ways we can draw the pothole model and make 19, 11 and 15, but what I want you to focus on today is just thinking about the 10 and the ones, all right? So off you go, pause the video. So our pothole model looks like this for these three numbers. It is 19 as the whole and 10 and 9 as the parts. 11 as the whole with 10 and 1 as the parts. And 15 as the whole with 10 and 5 as the parts. Give yourselves a big tick if you got that. Perfect. Now then, it's going to be quite a little bit of pausing the video, all right? I do apologise for this, but I want you to get used to seeing bar models and pothole models in different ways now. So if I've got 10 and 9 as my parts, what would my hole be? Draw the bar model with the hole. Pause the video, off you go. The hole is 19, well done. have a go at this one. Again, pause the video. What is the whole? The whole is 12. Well done. Okay, what about this one then? The part is missing this time, but I've got my whole. Can you work out what the part is using the whole and the other part that I've given you? Draw the bar model. Pause the video. So the part is 4, isn't it? Because we know 14 is partitioned into 10 and 4. Well done. What about this one then? This time this part is missing. What would it be? Pause the video and draw your bar model. Yeah, it would be 10, wouldn't it? Perfect. Okay. So then we can also see it represented on our part whole model, but drawing 10s and 1s. So just drawing a line for a 10 and either some dots or little circles or squares to represent your 1s. So my whole here is 14, exactly the same as we've written the number, but instead of writing 10, I've just drawn a 10 stick and I've drawn my 4 1s to match it, okay? So again, there's going to be quite a little bit of pausing, but what I want you to do is fill in, so draw the part whole model and fill in the missing part. So here you go. So the whole is missing this time. So we've got our 10 and we've got 5 1s. What would the whole be? Draw the part whole model, pause the video, off you go. So the whole would be 15, wouldn't it? We'd need to draw 1 10 and 5 1s. Well done. Next one then. What would the whole be this time? Draw it in your book. Off you go. So the whole would be 12. Well done if you did that. Okay, next one then. This time, the part is missing this time. So we've got our 1s, we've got our whole. What part is missing? Draw the part whole model. Pause the video. Off you go. So the part would be just 1 10, isn't it? Yeah, our 10 was missing this time. Okay, we can also see it represented like this. Oh my goodness, we are working hard today, aren't we, with all these different ways. So we could see the number, but then we could split it up to say we've got 1 10 and 8 1s, which is work that we've been doing, but I'm just showing you on a part whole model. So again, lots of pausing of the video. I do apologise. But it's just practice, 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 isn't it, of different ways. So you need to either fill in the hole or the part. Off we go. So there, the hole is missing this time. Pause the video, draw your part whole model. So you should have written number 12. Well done if you did that. Okay, next one. The part is missing this time. What would the part be? How many 1s? There's a bit of a clue. It would be 7 1s. Well done. Next one then. Ooh, bit of a tricky challenge, this one. Who can have a go at this one? The part is missing again. Yeah, it would be 0 1s, wouldn't it? Well done if you did that. Okay. And we might also see it as a number instead. Okay, so as a number word this time. So we might still write 10s and 1s. Okay. But how many 1s are missing by writing the number word? And this is where it's important to know how to write your number words. So what part is missing this time? Pause the video, off you go. So you should have written 4 1s. Well done if you did that. Okay, what about this one then? So this time you should have written 7 1s. Well done. Okay, next one then. This time our part on this side is missing. Yeah, it was a 10, wasn't it? Well done if you did that. Okay. Wow, really tricky challenges today. Our next tricky challenge, and this is quite tricky, okay? So just try your best, all right? So grown-ups, if we get a little bit stuck, don't worry, all right? I just want to throw an extra challenge in there just because we've come back after the holidays and we need to get cracking. So I do apologise, children, if you find it a little bit tricky. If you do, just finish, that's absolutely fine, and just practice doing part whole models of drawing 10s and 1s in different ways like we've been doing. But this time, I've only given you, obviously, one part in the cherry diagram, in the part whole model, but then I've told you down here either another part or the whole. So, for example, I've given you the part there as 4, but I've told you at the bottom there that it's 1 10. So I've actually told you the other part as well, but I've just written it down here. So what then would the whole be? So, for example, here we go. So I know it's going to be 110, and I know I've got 4 ones, so therefore the whole is going to be 14. So on the next slide, I want you to have a go at that. You can draw the part whole model and write the number sentence at the bottom like that. Okay, so there you go. So I've given you one part there. I've given you the other part there. What can you complete? The part whole model and the number sentence at the bottom. Pause the video. So I know I've got 110 and I've already got 9 ones. Therefore, that must be 19. Well done if you did that. Next one then. Oh, tricky challenge. I tell you what, I like to even challenge the challenge, don't I, today? I am sorry, Nottingham class. But I just know you're more than capable of doing it. So I've already said that I've given 2 10s and I know there's 0 1s. Therefore, the number must be 20. Well done if you did that. Okay, next one then. Oh my goodness. There is nothing on the part whole model this time. So you need to use the information I've given you at the bottom to tell you what your parts are to then work out the whole. Pause the video. Have a go. So we know there's 1 10 and 3 1s. Therefore, it's 13. Well done. Okay. Wow. What a challenge day today in Maths Today, Nottingham. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm sure you've done amazing. Please send your work on Tapestry. And if you did find any of it tricky, let me know and I'll see if I can help you a little bit further. Well done, everyone. Take care.